Let me pick up with Senator McCaskill, because, as you just heard, Republicans say the problem is that the president isn't serious about cutting spending. Senator McCaskill, let's watch.
House Republicans have already passed 2 bills to replace the president's sequester. So the question is, why won't he work with us? And the answer, quite simply, is because he wants higher taxes.
Now, I know you talk about a balanced approach, but clearly the Republicans aren't going to agree to that. Not saying who's right or who's wrong. But, Senator McCaskill, Republicans are talking about passing something this week that would give agencies, give departments more flexibility to set priorities so that the cuts could be made according to what makes sense and what doesn't make sense instead of across the board. You have supported this idea, but the White House opposes transfer authority. What sense does that make?
Well, here's really what's going on. You have, as usual in Washington, a large kabuki going on about who can get blamed. There's no question that these cuts are going to be painful, and they are thoughtless. And I know Tom Coburn and I agree on that. We also agree we need to do more spending cutting. We've got to cut more spending. We agree on that. So why is it that we can't come to the table and agree what cuts need to happen? That's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be passing the blame to the executive branch or saying this is Obama's sequester. The Republicans supported this. I supported it. We need to come together and make the right cuts. And frankly, Ash Carter at the Department of Defense said even if we did some kind of flexibility move at the 11th hour, it's too little too late in terms of what they've got in motion at the Department of Defense.
I understand that, but
we
clearly
need to come together for a big deal.
But Senator
Chris,
McCaskill,
I want to jump in. But
well, let me just ask this question, Senator Coburn. Let me just ask Senator McCaskill this question. You're not going to get an agreement on these cuts in the next 5 days. The sequester is going to go through, so the question is, why not give agency heads more flexibility so they can decide I'm going to cut more of this and less of that?
Well, I think right now, the way this is set up, there are going to be cuts a lot of places, and there will be some flexibility. And I think we're going to look at a number of things this week. But it doesn't take away the real need we have. And I know Tom Coburn agrees with me on this. We've got a much bigger problem down the line in terms of reducing our debt than just what we face this week. So why not take the offer, the very specific offer the president has on the table that does cut some entitlements, that does do more in terms of looking at a long-term debt, and let's get a big deal. Let's fund the government. Let's quit careening from crisis to crisis that, frankly, hurts confidence of investors across this country and hurts our economy.
Senator Coburn?
Well, I think, first of all, the crisis is made up. It's been created. I didn't support the sequester because that's a stupid way to cut spending. And I didn't support increasing the debt limit because there is no such thing as a debt limit in this country because we always raise it. But the fact is we have tons, hundreds of billions of dollars of fat and waste and excess in the federal government, and we ought to be about cutting some of it out. You're seeing the political game go. There's no reason that we don't go on and cut spending, even across the sequestration. Some of it's not smart, but it's the only way Washington, Republicans and Democrats, you're ever going to get out of both parties some spending cuts. And the reason there's no agreement is because there's no leadership from the president on actually recognizing what the problem is. And the problem is an excessive, bloated, big federal government that's highly inefficient and highly ineffective.